If you're brand new to the Metaverse, new city releases are a great way to get started in owning some virtual land that is mapped to the real world in the Upland Metaverse. These properties are NFTs that you can buy, sell, and trade. Starter cities are especially good starting points for new players, as these cities have the most affordable properties and least amount of competition, as only new players with status of visitor or uplander are able to mint the majority of the properties in these starter cities. In this video, I'm going to walk you through everything that you need to know as a new player in order to mint a property as part of this city release.
I'm YK2012, founder of the Upland Guide. I'm here to unlock the secrets of the Upland Metaverse. On this channel, you can find everything you need to build your Upland empire. Expert tutorials, winning strategies, pro tips and tricks, and a lot more. Hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell to stay ahead of the game. Remember, knowledge is power, and in the Upland Metaverse, that knowledge is truly your most valuable asset.
Ahead of a new starter city release, the most important thing to do is to read the official announcement. That can be found in the link in the description below. So who exactly are these starter city releases for? They're primarily for new players, because the majority of the properties that are going to be available for mint in upwards of 75 or even 80% are going to be restricted specifically for visitors and uplanders. These are players who have a net worth of less than 100,000 UPIX within the game. These properties that are reserved specifically for new players are typically the cheapest properties that you will be able to find in these cities. And as a starter city as a whole, the prices of properties will be less than some of these other cities. Just like in the real world, you can expect that property prices in some of these small towns will be a lot cheaper than cities like New York, London, Tokyo, or Miami. If you're brand new to Upland, these starter cities are a great way for you to get a look and feel and understanding of how the game is played. And then through buying, selling properties or other NFTs within Upland, you can grow to a point where you are able to afford properties in some of these more famous cities. Before you get started in Upland, I encourage you to head over to our website and check out some of our free courses that we offer that can teach you everything that you need to know about the Upland Metaverse. And I also cover a number of topics that are critical to understanding new city releases and how to mint property. When it comes to new city releases, there are two different types. They could be standard or vanilla releases. Each city has a number of property collections, where if you own a certain number of properties in that neighborhood, city, street, or collection, then you are able to earn a one-time UPIX bonus, and you will also get boosted earnings on the properties in those collections. In standard city releases, Upland announces these collections as part of the city release announcement, and in vanilla releases, these collections are unknown until several days after the city has been released. If you're looking to mint these collection properties during a standard city release, it's really important to know there is a collection multiplier that is added to the mint price of that property. So it's quite possible that some of these rare collection properties are going to be priced a lot higher than neighboring properties. If you're a brand new player, you might be priced out of these types of properties. If you're not familiar with the city that's being released, a great way to start learning is just by going on Google and typing in famous places in this city. And that will help you to understand some of the local hotspots and more interesting places in that city that you might want to purchase properties there. There is a trick to actually calculating what the mint price of these properties will be prior to the city release itself. You don't want to be caught off guard being ready to mint a property and all of a sudden finding out that you don't have enough UPIX for it. Check out the link in the upper right hand corner to watch the video about exactly how you are able to calculate what these mint prices of the properties are. In these starter cities, you should be able to find properties that are less than 1,000 UPIX. As a brand new player, just for signing up, Upland will give you 4,500 UPIX to help you get started and mint your first property. If you sign up with our referral code, we offer some additional bonuses, and you can learn more about those in the link in the upper right hand corner. The cheapest properties that you can find will be labeled FSA. That stands for Fair Start Act. And these types of properties can only be minted by visitors or uplanders. This ensures that there will always be properties available for new players in these cities. Players are only able to mint a total of 3 FSA properties each day and a total of 10 over the lifetime of their account. These properties are great for learning how to mint properties, participating in city releases, and also potentially selling these properties for a profit. But this is a double-edged sword. You are only able to make 2 FSA property transactions each week. That means you can only list 2 FSA properties each week for sale, and you can only trade 2 FSA properties each week, or sell 2 FSA properties, or any combination of those. And if you want to sell those properties for US dollars, you're going to have to wait 6 months in order to do that. So when the new city gets released, all of the properties are going to be available for minting at exactly the same time. So if you're only targeting these FSA properties at the beginning, you're going to want to do your homework beforehand and think about different areas where you might want to purchase these properties. They will likely go quite quickly, especially the cheapest ones and the most popular neighborhoods. For a deep dive into FSA properties, check out the link in the description below or in the upper right hand corner. Now, in order to get to the new city release, you're actually going to have to travel there with your Block Explorer. You're going to have to take public transportation to get there. This will cost you some UPEX as well as time. If you're brand new to creating an account, one of the first things that Upland is going to ask you is what city you would like to start in. If you don't see this new starter city as an option, you're going to want to choose a city that is closest to that one, because the travel distance will be the shortest and the cost of travel will be the cheapest. Before you travel to this new city, you're going to want to ensure that you collect the maximum number of cents, because there will not be any cents available until several minutes after the city is released. If you end up spending all your cents in this new city to jump from place to place, you may find that you will run out of cents at a really bad time. Your Block Explorer always walks in random directions. In each city release, Upland has defined a number of Launchpad properties, which are properties that you can send yourself to in order to help you get your bearings if you're looking to travel in a specific direction. There's no guarantee once you send yourself to that property that you're going to go into the direction that you want, but you're able to repeatedly send yourself to that same property in the hopes that you start traveling in the direction that you want. This is why you want to ensure that when you do travel to the city, you have the maximum number of cents possible, which is 11. You can always purchase cents from Upland and thus have more than 11 at any time, but if you're only looking to collect them for free, you get capped at 11. If you are looking to head in a specific direction, you want to make sure that you don't waste all your cents doing that. There is a little bit of luck involved in these new city releases in terms of getting to a property that you want to mint, but there is a lot of strategy involved, and these starter cities are an excellent opportunity for you to start learning and practicing participating in these new city releases. Approximately 1 day before the new city is released, the train terminal will be available for people to travel to. The neighborhood lines will also appear, and the Launchpad properties will be minted. A number of hours before the new city release happens, all of the different property lines will be visible, and at that point you will be able to start calculating the mint price of these properties. Now, obviously, for these Launchpad properties, once they're minted, you're obviously able to calculate the mint price of that property and thus the neighborhood value of all of the properties that are in that neighborhood. When it comes to property earnings, you start off the game of earning a 4.9% yield on your properties. However, during each season, you're able to complete different tasks that will increase the property earnings for the next season. By completing 5 tasks, you can reach 14.7% yield, and it's even possible to increase that further to 15.19% yield. Learn more about these gamified earnings in the link in the upper right hand corner and the description below. Once your Block Explorer is wandering around, at the exact moment that the city release happens, all of the properties around your Block Explorer and the black tail behind it are going to turn light green. That means that these properties are in range and you're able to mint them. As a brand new player, you're not restricted to only purchasing FSA properties, but as I mentioned, they are likely cheaper than non-FSA properties. If you're not interested in minting any of the properties around you, you are able to send yourself to another property as long as it has been minted, and then from there, hopefully you can start wandering in a direction that you do want to mint some properties. But you're going to have to act fast because chances are there are other people looking to go to that same location as well. City releases might not always go the way that you want them to, so it's always good to have several plans and different areas that you might be interested in minting properties. If you're looking to grow in the Upland Metaverse, as a new player, you might be interested in trying to sell these properties that you just minted. If you are looking to sell your properties, it's important to keep in mind all of the restrictions that I spoke of regarding these FSA properties. And with the fact that you're only able to sell 2 of them each week, The week resets at 12 a.m. Sundays, GMT. Now, for whatever reason, if you didn't participate in the city release, there is still probably opportunities for you to purchase relatively cheap FSA properties in that city. Before you start stocking up on FSA properties, I would suggest maybe purchasing just a couple, seeing if you're able to sell them, reach Uplander status, and maybe consider waiting for the next city release. We can expect a city release about once a season, and you might have better luck getting some properties that you want if you're able to participate in the new city release and not just having to buy some leftovers. Now here's a bonus tip for everyone who decided to stick around until the very end. If you're looking to sell these properties, it's important to note that Upland has created a forced floor when selling for US dollars. The cheapest that anyone can sell a property for in US dollars is $3. There is no lower limit when it comes to selling properties for UPEX. This creates an interesting dynamic when people are buying and selling properties, especially after new city releases. I use the website upexland.me in order to check out property listings, and if you're brand new, I would highly recommend going and looking at property prices in some of these other starter cities to understand how these markets work. As a new player, you're going to have to reach Uplander status before you are able to sell your first property. Once again, don't forget to check out our free courses, which can help you learn everything you need to know about Upland and prepare yourself for everything you need to know about the Metaverse, including this upcoming new city release.